Okie dokie, my friends. Here we are, mastermind session number 5, 6, 800. And man, I'm super excited. I went for a run this morning and
Okie dokie,
oh,
my
sorry, hold on, let me
friends.
mute myself.
Here we are.
All right, cool. And man, I didn't feel like going this morning. I did not feel like running at all. I can't even tell you. It was just like, we went on a walk together, my family and I, and it was cool. It was nice, but I was still asleep. And as you guys know, I'm not drinking coffee. I've been on this cleanse. I'm not saying it's bad for you. I actually love it. It just at this point in my life, I have to kind of stay away from it. So I didn't feel like going, and I didn't feel like going. But then I thought, oh, I've got the group today. I'm accountable to them at this point. And for me, not because you asked me to or whatever. This is a game that I'm playing with myself. I'm using you guys as leverage so I can get back to where I need to be and to where I know I can be. And so literally I sat down on a chair and I thought of Jacques and I thought of DVP, I thought of Chris, Rob, all you guys, and I was like, I got to go run. So in the same way, I want you guys to use the group like I have to pitch the song. I have to finish the song, right? I already got that part done. That's cool. I've submitted different songs this week. I'm on track. I'm pitching new companies. And so I'm amazed and I'm flabbergasted at the concept of a group, at accountability, and how even though I didn't feel like going, I still went, man. And on top of that, I did something that I had never done before. Rather than taking the same route, so rather than going through the same pattern and you know just being comfortable in my usual routine, I went a different way. And sometimes when you try new things and you're willing to do something different, you're reinvigorated because you have to pay a little bit more attention and maybe like the footing's a little bit different. So don't get caught up in the same routine. Just like this call, don't get comfortable. This may not even happen forever. This may be the last call for all we know, right? And so I really want you to try and extract as much information. I'm here, I'm prepared, I'm ready to go. And so please take new routes, try new things. Don't get comfortable, and I guarantee you that you will get what it is that you need to get. Uh, so use the group to your advantage, please. Use the group so that you can get what it is you need to get. Now I'm going to check in with you guys in a second here. I just want to start with this. So, quick quote: results come from an obsession with getting yourself to take action. So, at the end of the day, it really is about action. We keep going back to this. We keep going back to the state of mind, to being focused, to having that singular focus. But still, even then, you still need to be in a place where you're taking action. Does anybody know what this is right here? Anybody, just call it out. What is this? What are we looking at?
It's your ASCAP thing.
Yep, it's my ASCAP thing. So at the top there, it says my name. That's my member ID. My IPI is on the right-hand side. Now, the number that's important here is 5,129. Does anybody know what that is?
Registrations.
Okay, so incorrect. So I myself have registered songs, or companies have registered songs for me, and I'm currently at 5,129. This number keeps going up every single week. Of course, some weeks are better than others, but this has been going on now for 6 years and a couple of months. Does anybody know what my goal is? So I will not rest until I get what number. Does anybody know what that? I've said it a couple times in the past.
18,000.
10,000.
Uh,
18.
18,000. And why is my number 18,000, please?
I'm not.
Anybody know?
I think if I remember correctly, you had a network of people that were doing pretty well in licensing, and when they showed you their registration, they had like 17,000 or something.
Jacques, you the best. So I know someone right now, I'm not going to call him out, and he's not even great. He's not even, I would call him pretty good, but he's consistent and he's obsessed with action. And I wouldn't even call him the most focused, kind of intense individual. He's just consistent with the plan. He's got, by now he's probably got 20 something, but when I saw the statement, I saw that he had close to 1,800, And I know for a fact that he was making every year $200,000 or more. And this is just through his ASCAP, uh, PRO. So okay, when that happened, I remember it's funny because I was a trainer at the time. So when I saw the number, I saw it from the CEO of the company. He's like, "Look, check out what our guy just made." I saw the registrations. It was the same exact sheet here, and then he showed me the number, and I was like, I started doing the numbers in my head. I was like, "Dude, this guy's making $300,000, and he's not doing anything. This is now exponential, and it's going to multiply for years and years and years. I don't know how long it'll last." But geez, $300,000 for 18,000. So at that point, I got super focused. I'm at 5,000. I'm not even I'm a fourth of the way, I guess, if you want to think about it that way. And I will not stop this game. At some point, I don't know if it's going to take 5, 10 years. I mean, if it took me 6 years to get 5,000, let's call it another 6 to get 10. Let's call it another 6 on top of that to get 15. I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna take. But the point is I have a goal. And look, let's say I stop short of making $100,000 a year. Let's say that's like my goal is 300,000, but I just make 100. That's a fantastic goal that you accomplished. So go hard, do more that you could than you think you can do. Because even if I make $100,000 a year doing nothing, I'm still pretty happy with those results. Okay? So please aim high. I'm not saying that has to be your goal, but I've already seen it. It's real in my head. I know that it's a reality. And so, okay, you want me to be obsessed with action? What's the plan? The plan is simple. It remains the same. It will not change. It will not change for 10 years, for 15 years, for 2 years. You have to be in action every single week. I need to hear Jacques say, Yup, I turned it in. DBP, yup, I closed it. Dane, yup, I worked on that module and I'm looking at this new company. Angelina, yup, I turned in the song with Beth. By the way, congratulations to Chris Chrisman for being the first one to get in there. A couple of you, Todd's in there already. She may not have reached out to you yet, and then I'm checking the rest of your submissions when I'm done here. But it's a simple formula: action, action, action. Eventually, results that will lead to belief and certainty in yourself. Once you start believing in yourself, you get pumped up. Of course, that creates more potential. Perhaps you start, committing yourself rather than just being kind of interested. You'll be full on, right? 2 feet in the game every day, working on it, committed. Then, of course, you'll yield more results, et cetera, et cetera. So follow the program. What is the program? Again, this will not change. Find the leads. We're providing 3 more when we're done here. Qualify the prospect. Is this good for me? Will it work? Or can I make it work? Like DBP, super talented. He doesn't just do hip hop, right? So he could do like a wide range of selections. So if he sees a company and perhaps they need something more in the funky category, or I don't know, even salsa. I know you could pull it off. So then you would qualify the prospect, but then you would make music to work with that. And let's say DBP didn't know how to do some reggaeton or something. I know he can't, but then he links up with somebody else. Hey, I have this opportunity. Do you want to try it? And then we get in. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Number 2, make the music, collaborate. You have to do it together. You have to do it together. Some of you guys are already starting to do it. I'm super excited about it. So find leads, qualify the prospect, make music, collaborate, and then of course you want to pitch it. It doesn't matter if you make it. I've seen 2. In fact, right now while we were on the call, somebody called me, long-term friend. We originally got into business together, and I personally cannot talk to him anymore. I choose not to answer his phone calls because he's not committed to the same goals as I am. And some might say, "Well, you're a terrible friend," but the people that you surround yourself with, their mindset, how they think, it rubs off. It totally rubs off on you. So I choose to be with people that are lifted, that are trying, that are striving. I don't want people that are just comfortable hanging out. Am I saying don't take a day off? No, let's not be absurd. I'm saying I want people that are going to get after it and that want their dreams the way that I want my dream. I will not stop until I get to 18,000. You guys better believe that at some point I will be saying I got 18,000 registrations. And when I do, I don't care if I'm making 100,000. I don't care if it's 200,000, but it's a goal of mine and I will get it. So It's a very easy process. Find the leads, make the music, pitch the music.
Hey,
And then
Eddie,
of
quick
course,
question.
shoot.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, and it might be nitpicky, but that guy, for example, that you're modeling this off of, was it like 18,000 where he had 100% of the thing, or is it like
No,
shared stuff, or like 50, 60, 30,
no,
split?
no. Great question. Thank you. And I appreciate your insightful questions, because sometimes there's questions that are out of context. So when I saw his registration, and just so you know, also, I worked with him alongside him. So I knew a little bit more than just watching the profile. So he included submixes, those registrations included edits. So it's not 18,000 songs, it's just the registrations therein. And then on top of that, there were a ton of collaborations. We did a ton of collaborations together. In fact, again, I'm not going to say any names, but this gentleman, he developed a deal with his mentor where he gave him 25% no matter what, just because he brought him in the business. And actually, this leads to my next point. If you can remind me, because I might space out, just if you could just say the word control at some point, because I don't want to space out on that. So thank you for bringing that up. But my point is it was everything: collaborations, submixes, edits, etc., etc. Cool. Okay.
Cool. I was gonna say 18,000 all by itself's a lot.
Yeah. No, it's all in all, it's a big game that I'm playing, but I love it, DVP, because it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care about the result. I'm still gonna make a ton of cash. I'm still gonna be like just out there. My music's just good. And then when I'm gone, guess who benefits? Havana, my daughter. So just on every level, it makes sense, and I'm just elated about it. All right. We've talked about, some suggestions for organization, to have a plan. Some of you have done these things. In the next couple weeks, I actually want to start talking about doing some vision boards. This may not be something that you're into, or you've heard of, but believe me, it works. This stuff is scientifically sound. It works. So please formulate an ideal day design. This week, I actually have to change my ideal day design because our nanny situation has changed. And so now I have to be home with my daughter on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do I cry about it? No. Do I whine about it? No. I just pivot, make an adjustment, and find out what else can I do? How else can I improve myself, as a composer, producer, beat maker, educator, contributor to society? What else can I do? And so look for ways to improve. So what I'm doing now, because Logic 10.5 came out, guess what? I'm just obsessing over the details, and I'm almost done. I'm about 80%, 90% done with my studies. So just find ways to improve. The ideal day design will change. It's just about you getting back into action, and not like, being on YouTube on your phone for 6 hours, right? You need to get back to, okay, I really have to learn Logic because I'm hampered by my workflow. I really have to learn mixing and mastering because I see that I actually write really good songs. I have good ideas, but my weakness is in my production, and my career is suffering over that. So cool. Let me double down, put all my eggs in that basket for now, and then we'll go from there. The ideal day design will change. So please try and stay organized. I know life is crazy right now, especially for those of us that have various things at home, but you got to get back and keep organizing. Number 2, write down your goals. Please write down the goals. Real quick, I have a book right here. I've told you guys, book of goals. I have 360 something books, goals lined up. And I'm just going to read a couple that I've written down, and I didn't know when I would accomplish them, but then they just, naturally happen. Right here, number 292, I own an iConnect MIDI, and I own one. So I just wrote them down, didn't know where I was going to get the money or whatever. I just wrote things down. I'm sponsored by Touche and receive all products. That's goal number 300. Let me try and find one more. Got sponsored by Touche when I went to the NAM show a couple years ago. Was not expecting that. Here's number 340. I am purchasing a custom-made studio desk so that I can sit and stand. I didn't have the money for the desk. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I just put into existence. Start writing down your goals. It eventually happens. Trust me. I just got I was on a call with Apple this week. We're going to be talking about perhaps we'll see where it goes, but we're having these discussions, and I wrote it down. I said I will work with Apple. I am going to be contribute. So you guys have to start putting that, even if it seems so far fetched. Some of the goals on here that I have written down, they are so big. Like, it's a stretch of the imagination to, like, wow, can I actually do that? But again, if I even fall short of it, I'll still end up in an awesome place. So just think big, dream big, and start stretching. Number 3, the 5 critical tasks. Who has done this? Who has thought about it? Is anybody being influenced by the 5 critical tasks? And then and what is it, by the way? Can somebody clarify what is the 5 critical tasks?
Isn't
Somebody.
it like the five most important things to get you that are like your five priorities in life right now that get you to where you kind of want to be?
Yeah, and that make you feel what you want to feel. So why are we here? What's the point of being here unless we're going to live and feel the way we want to feel, right? Like there are certain things that make you feel elated, uplifted, happy. And why would you want to feel that way? Because it's your life. You get to choose, man. Don't let the external stuff determine how you're going to feel. So, what are some things for you? 5 critical tasks every day that have to be done in order for you to feel and be the kind of person that you want to be and that you strive to be.
For me, it's my morning routine.
All right, let's hear it.
So I get up, I meditate for 10, 15 minutes, work out, eat breakfast, just get everything in order for the day. And then I get in and I start working on music in the studio before I let in all sorts of, business decisions come in. Just sit and work on music for a few hours. And then once I feel like I'm kind of hitting a wall, I'll pivot and start working on business stuff.
Wow, thank you, dude. That's refreshing to hear it from somebody else. Real quick, how long you said you start working on music. How long does that usually take? Like, is it 30 minutes, an hour, hour and 30, two
I
like
try to dedicate 2 hours at least a day.
okay. Okay, so you get up. Let's really think about this. He gets up, he meditates, he puts himself in the right mindset. This doesn't have to apply to all of you. You could go take a walk, you can listen to an audiobook. I don't care. I just want you to be in a good place, right? I just want you to feel like you're moving forward and you're not aggravated or you're in a bad mood or whatever. Okay, so then after he meditates, then he did you say you work out?
I work out.
Okay, wow. So then he goes from like this one amazing activity that, puts him in a good place. And I'm sure you have your days where like maybe you're a little more tired or whatever. But the point is then he goes into movement and then you get into your body. So you're going into a whole
Yeah, it
different
gives me the energy that I need throughout the day.
ain't that the truth, right? Because when you work out, you certainly have a lot more energy.
Energy, and it just makes me feel good. Like I could sit down and I don't feel like groggy, or I just feel like I have that energy to kind of just tackle whatever I'm trying to do.
Yeah, coffee can only solve so many problems for sure.
Yeah,
Like sometimes you just need to move and kind of get up and get going. Yeah, after that run, man, I felt so just happy and childlike and relaxed. Like I
yeah,
just
it's crazy what a little bit of movement will do to your day. It just
and so how long do you dedicate movement to, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour?
usually 30 to 45 minutes depending on what I'm doing. If it's
Okay.
cardio, it'll be like 30 minutes. If it's lifting, 30 minutes, 45 depending on what day it is.
Okay, okay. So you got different things you do. That's cool. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, then you kind of it sounds like you have this moment of preparedness, like I'm gonna line things up for myself to make sure I know what it is I need to do. So is that right? Do you have a moment where you
Yeah, so I just go through like my tasks for the day. Like usually the night before, I'll sit down and I'll say, okay, what am I going to accomplish the next day? Is there anything that I really need to take care of right away? Or, do I have more time to sit and really dedicate to producing? So I just kind of go over what my daily schedule looks like and
good?
what is it that I'm trying to accomplish for the day. I might look at my goals and see like, okay, what can I do to get me to that specific goal, and
Totally.
so on. And then I just kind of, but the biggest thing for me is I try to get my production done earlier in the day, because for me, like once I get into like the business side of things, it kind of just throws my creativity off, because it's like a different mindset.
Dude, you are so insightful and so on point. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share? 5 critical tasks? Okay, good. All right, so real quick, I need to what do you guys no, that's the wrong page, sorry. I need to demystify, how some of you may, I don't know, look at me, perceive me, or whatever. Here's the deal. It wasn't always like this. Now, let me just get my zoom in order here, and then I'm going to show you something that will hopefully inspire you. And Justin, you've already seen a little bit of this, but I just want to show you kind of in the flesh. You guys are looking at my cue sheets now, okay?
No,
Oh, no?
Yeah, it looks kind of weird on our
your
screen, on my
YouTube thing
screen.
is
Hold on. Safari member access. Let me know if you see it now. If not, I'm gonna just no. You don't see it?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, here's the bottom line. Let me just tell you what I'm looking at, and then we can talk about it. So, I'm looking at my registrations inside of ASCAP. Okay, and so I'm looking at my cue sheets, and so here I'm looking at a song that I placed in the Minnesota Twins against the New York Yankees on ESPN. So then now when I open that up, um, oh, what happened was it signed out. When I open that up, there's a song called Real Steel that I made in 2014, 6 years ago when I first started. I want you guys to hear this song because you guys think, you know, sometimes I think people are like, oh man, but you're special and you have these gifts and, you got all, all just excuses. And I want you to hear what this song sounds like, the reality of what it sounds like. You guys ready? All right, here we go. Real Steel, world premiere. Watch your ears because it's very high pitched. I didn't know how to mix back then. Anybody could have written that. I probably put, I don't know, 4 hours into it. I had no idea what I was doing.
Is that you playing guitar on it?
Yeah, I play guitar, but I gave it heart and I was committed. I was in it every day. I'm not kidding you. And that now, 6 years later, still working for me. And so I
Bro,
just want you guys to feel encouraged. Go ahead.
with all due respect,
Yeah.
those drums, wow, you have come a mighty long way, my friend.
No, hey, dude, I'm showing you. I'm showing you because I want you to go, you know what? I understand. It's going to take some time. 18,000 registrations is his goal. Okay, what are my goals? How am I going to line this up? What if I make 30,000 a year? That's 30,000 a year that you weren't making before. You could take your family on vacation, put 10,000 for investing, 10,000 for savings. Come on, guys. You can do it too. Real quick, before that, I want you to listen to a couple other songs. Okay, and we're still going to look at each other. So the very first song that I ever wrote, the date was November 8th, 2013. It was called The Crew, Krew. And I remember when I wrote it, I was like, oh, I want to do something like the Dog Pound, but like comedy, because I was writing for a big company. And so I wrote this song right here, and I got lucky, right? Because I'm going to play you the next song I wrote after that, and you'll hear how sorry it is in comparison. So here, listen to the very first song I ever did, 11/8/13. Here we go. You guys impressed, huh? The Crew. That song is still placing
With a
today.
K.
Total West Coast vibes.
Bro, I promise you, it is still making me money. We can go inside of my account. We can look, how is this song performing? I promise I didn't know about EQ, compression. I just tried. I want you to try. I want you to try. I want to hear your story. Don't let me be the only one doing this. And don't say that anybody didn't care about you either. Don't say that anybody didn't stand up for you and make the time, because obviously I'm not doing this for a monetary reason. If that was the case, I'd be getting cuts and doing all sorts of stuff. I don't care about that. I want to know that other people did it too. I need it. So real quick, let me play you something now. Started getting a little bit better. All right, started kind of really putting some time in, and I just want you to hear the progression, just the jump, and I only play 10 seconds. Here we go. Okay, I'll spare you the rest. You can still hear.
Jeez.
It's not great. I don't care how you look at it, but you hear heart. You hear the determination. I will get this. I will get. I'm so glad that I stayed with it, man. I feel I sleep at night so good. I look at the the roof when you're laying down, and I just kind of take a nice deep breath, knowing that I committed to the plan and I stayed with it. I'm just so grateful. All right, and then I want you to listen to something that I've done, most recently. This was May 16th, and I'll kind of start in the middle because it gets good towards the middle. Here we go. Okay, so you get the point. I'm done with this whole thing, but I just want you to work at it. All right? Please do yourself a favor. I know you need this. You would not waste your time on a Saturday. You guys would not spend all this time, watching the modules, turning in the music, revising all the you guys wouldn't do it if you didn't need it. I know you need it. I understand that you need it, and I want it for you too. So that being said, I really want to talk about how to move your career forward. I had a really good example that I want to cover. Uh, and let me check in with you guys first. Then I want to talk to Chris about something this week that we got into. So, how are you guys doing? How have you moved forward this week? I don't care if it's just with the music. I don't care if it's pitching the music. I don't care if it's studying. Don't study too much, but study enough to help you with the technological stuff. Um, Go ahead. Who wants to go first?
Hey, Eddie, I have a quick. You told me to remind you about the word control when you were
Oh,
talking about.
yes. Okay. Just real quick. Uh, there are forces and there are people that will want to control you, and you'll see it pretty clearly you'll see their motives depending on what they ask of you. So I haven't asked a single thing, man. All I want you guys is to do what you said you wanted to do. So like with you, DBP, I know you want to do this, right? I know this is something that you see yourself doing. It's starting to become a reality inside of your mind, inside of your consciousness. And so just stay away from people that want to control your state of mind, or how you live or how you feel. Stay away from energies or environments where they're not accepting you. you know like, for example, if recently somebody that I know has starting to move away from certain people in their life, and they started playing the guitar a little bit more. They kind of rediscovered, they made time for the guitar, and so it's amazing, by letting go of stuff that doesn't help you anymore. It's just amazing how they rediscovered the guitar, and now they're starting to play more time, and they're starting to feel happier and have more joy in their life. Whereas prior to this moment and prior to our conversation, they felt stuck because they were in the wrong environment that was controlling them. So it just stay away from elements, people with bad motives, people that don't really care about your progress, and you'll see it in their actions and how they talk to you. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because it was a pretty big example. And I don't want to say too much, but yeah, just stay away from people that do not have your best interest in mind. Cool. Okay, so let's check in. How have you moved forward? It's important that you guys start talking now, because other people will hear it and they will get inspired. So please be a contribution to somebody else. Don't do it for me. Do it for somebody else. How have you moved forward? Please
Yes.
go.
So I'll start, buddy. Guys, this is Jacques here. So for me this week, I really wanted to like look and assess where I was at, what I needed to do to take pretty much my music to another level. And I kind of like took some notes and to kind of determine that one, I think especially going through like the time of COVID, I keep my kids during the day. So I was at such a race when my son had homeschool to like help him, do his school, help him with his school, finish. I was like, I was on overload, just really trying to finish tracks, trying to keep my numbers up. And I rushed a lot during that time. And it helped me kind of realize that instead of calling it on a mix after one day, maybe just wait till the next day, listen to it one more time. Like, don't rush. This is a long-term game. So there is definitely something to like being productive and being fast. Also realize maybe I should sometimes take an extra day if I have it to just go back and check, slow down a little bit, try and put all my energy into stuff as opposed to just rushing. So that's one thing I kind of determined I needed to do, not necessarily slow down, but just maybe take, even if it's sit on something one more night before I, finally submit it. Then the other thing was there were some technological things that I felt like I needed to add to my game that I put in a lot of hours and made some pretty cool advances. So I'll spare you guys on what they were. But I'm pretty excited about it. And two, did a lot of pitching this week. Eddie gave me a new strategy that I didn't do before. It was just concerning the reel. Got my reel together and just pitched it to libraries, not necessarily with music ready, just kind of introducing myself, saying I love what they do, what they've done. I really would love to work with them, and just introducing myself. And I heard back in 2 days from a pretty big publisher who reached out, said he loved my music, and that he would add me to their, composers list for when they send out briefs and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. So even on a week where I didn't write, I probably only wrote 3 tracks or so. I still was able to do a lot of pitching, get into a new library, and make a lot of other things that I think will advance me a lot going forward.
So to clarify his approach, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jacques, but his approach was, instead of having the music ready to give to them and to provide, he was okay with just saying, "Hey, this is who I am. These are my services. Do you want to work together?"
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
in the past, you were holding music and then you were pitching that specific music, and now you're pitching yourself.
Exactly. I've never done, and I thought it even sounded weird. And you told me, you were like, "Nah, just do it." And I literally, it was a short email. The title of my email was "Experienced Composer at Your Service," and then I just, put that was the title. I didn't even offer tracks. I just said, "Here's what I do. If it could be of value to you and your clients, I'd love to work with you guys."
Take
And
notes.
48 hours.
Take notes, please. I love it. Great job. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up. And I get it, with the kids and all that jazz, but still. And then let's say you get busy, you can only write the track. "Hey, Eddie, 50-50. You want to in?" Okay. And then we collab or whatever, whoever, right? There's a lot of talented people here. Get them in. Okay, who's next?
I'll go.
Shoot.
I've had a pretty amazing week, to tell you the truth. Thank you very much. No, I feel very, very, very grateful. So like you guys heard, I got hooked up with Beth. She's awesome. What can I say? She's very, very sweet, great lady. For me personally, I've been, I moved during this whole thing, pandemic behind me. This is I'm still putting it together. But yeah, so I was doing that, and so setting up the studio and submitting tracks. I actually am really getting close with another company that Eddie and I started working with, and they are sending me stuff consistently, which is awesome. They just gave me 3 new briefs for Sweet Stack, whatever his name is, and so it's great. And I just, like I said, feel grateful to the group. Congrats on that, Jack, by the way. That's awesome. And yeah, so just like I said, you guys are all part of it for me personally, because like I said, where I was before I came here and then after I came here, it's just opened up a whole new different set of ears. Really has. It's a different set of ears. And keep plugging away. Like, I mean, no matter how long I've been doing this, which is granted not that long in the grand scheme of things, but every day I just learn something new. I want to learn something new every day. And yeah, no matter what. And that's what I hear from like anybody who's really great, even you, Eddie. I mean, you seek to learn something new every day. And yeah, that's it. And like I said, you guys are great. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
That's a part of my critical task, believe it or not. Like, I'm so infatuated with learning because I realize that it will make me more valuable, and if I'm more valuable, guess what? I'm gonna be of value to other people, and if I'm more of value to other people, I'm gonna make more money. That being said, real quick, Chris, the song that he played for us in the mixing class on Wednesday was the song that got accepted. So if you guys heard how good it was, you won't be that surprised that it got accepted. But yeah, so essentially, he submitted everything to me. I checked everything. It was pristine. I sent it to Beth with an introduction. She reached out to him. Now they have their own relationship. That's their thing now, right?
I will say that she does want everything self-published, which was I thought was interesting. So I was like, oh, good thing I set that up a long time ago. So I was like, all right, yeah. So
and to simplify what you're saying, she wants you to have your own publishing account in ASCAP because you can have your writers and you can have your publishing account as well. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
exactly, yep.
Okay. I just don't want to put any words in anybody's mouth. So, Chris is a solid example of like kind of where we want to be. A, he's getting songs accepted by big libraries. B, he's being consistent. And so is Jacques and a lot of other people as well. And then on top of that, he's receiving consistent briefs. That right there is the ticket because then guess what? You get your reps in, you develop over time, right? And dude, in a year from now, I know we've only been doing this for what, maybe a year together, more or less. Yeah. Okay. A year from now that you're just kind of doing it on your own, you're gonna be scary 2 years from now, 3, you know what I'm saying? So you're already so good, and let's say you write another 60 songs for the rest of the year. By the time you're done with that 60th, you're gonna be amazing. So yeah, keep it going, my friend. I have some good tips for you as well at the end here.
I
Uh,
literally turned to my wife, and it feels like now it feels like I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You know, I mean the money's not there, but I'm living the life, and the money's coming. I see
it,
it coming.
it trust me, especially with these next steps that we're gonna take, and they're gonna be some big ones. I just want everybody to get through this Beth thing first. So very cool. Okay, yeah, let me take another 2, 1. This is your time.
For me, it's just really working on my production, getting my music ready, and I sent you a few of my tracks, Eddie, that I've been working on that are pretty much
Much better.
finished.
Much
Thank
better.
you.
What are you doing
Thank
different?
you. Just following a lot of the tips that you're giving, in the mixing, and just really isolating the different parts of the arrangement and seeing what I can, I'm really taking that emotion thing into consideration when I'm mixing, making sure there's no weak links with the emotion, keeping that throughout. So um, just working on the mixing and just trying to get better and trying to get it to sound professional.
Yeah, just friend of friend. Like I think the song itself is they're always good. I don't question your progressions, right? This isn't like
Thank you.
rudimentary stuff. It's just like how can I get it to sound pro, huge, big.
Yeah.
That's where we are at right now. But you made a jump, you made a leap, and I'm happy about that. Make another leap
Thank
in the
you.
next week, and make another one after. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Yeah,
constant.
just keep working on it. So and
Very
I'm still doing the business side of things. It's just I'm focusing more on the production right now because I know the production needs to be there to really start pitching it to publishers and things like that.
right.
I put my music up into some libraries, so it's just getting my foot in the door and just starting from a starting point and moving from there.
I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that, but I still want you to be in action. I still want you to be submitting, even if it's 1, 2, 3 a week. Just so you're used to it. By the time let's call it 3 months, let's call it 6 months. By the time you get to where you need to get to, and I don't want to put a number on it, but just whenever you feel
Hmm.
like, damn, I'm ready now, then you go for it, right? And then because you've already
Cool.
been doing it, so I just want that's is why I provide when we provide the 3 leads every week. It's beginner, intermediate, advanced because I
Yeah.
still want you to be in action. It's a personal challenge, friendly challenge for me to you. I still want you to be in action.
Sure.
1 song,
Yeah.
2 songs a week, I don't care what it is. Trust me, by the time you're out of the gates and you're a monster at this, by that time you've already submitted 300-400 songs. This is gonna be a cakewalk for you. But it's the
Hmm.
the the people wait too long, they think too much, right? They try and prepare, they over prepare. Dude, when I wrote Real Steel, that's now on ESPN, I didn't know anything. This is why I
Yeah.
do this is why I embarrass myself in public, right? So that you can go, "Oh, wait a minute. I am overthinking it."
No, and it's inspiring because it's like, okay, I can do this too.
Of course, that song was crap. No offense to me, but it was not a great song. If I had done
Yeah.
it today, though, Would have been a different story. And real quick before you get out of here, your breakthrough session, how did it go? If you don't mind just generalizing for other people.
It was totally more than what I expected. It was awesome. Like the things we talked about were the key areas that I need to work on that are prohibiting me from really moving forward with this. So now that I have a better understanding of what I really need to work on personally, it wasn't so much about like, how do I do this in the business and that. It was more, what do I need to do to break through those barriers to succeed within this industry? And I'm sure everyone has something that they can improve on, that they can identify and really work on to make them be that much better with what they're trying to do. And really, that was the focus of the call, and it was great. Like it honestly, it blew me away. It was just like, wow, this is something that I needed for myself to really get to the next level.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys feel the love here. Like we're starting to get deep here. We're starting to connect, right? Take advantage. I'm trying to give to you guys. I mean, I want you to know that I care. Man, if I could almost like capture the moment, but I was alone. I was alone, and I just knew that there was a way out, and I believed, and I'm so happy that we're here. I feel so like grateful, and when you guys start really, you know, getting what you deserve, I can't wait. So I want to keep fighting. So anyway, please take advantage of this. This is a
Yeah,
free service.
I just want to say thank you. I mean, it really opened up my eyes to things that I can do better personally to help me get to where I'm trying to go. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Eddie, for offering that.
Bro, I get it, man. I wish I had the help at the time. Luckily, whatever, I made it. You can't cry about it, but I also wasted 6 years of my life, bro. So, um, I don't think it has to take that long. I don't think it has to take that long. So I want you guys to win. We're doing it right. We're doing everything, the way we're supposed to. Just keep being in action. I feel like that's the determining. I don't care how much you learn. I want you to learn, but I don't care how much you learn, but I care about your action. So if you tell me I haven't submitted, it's like, oof, that's a hard one for me to take because I already know that's what's going to get you across the finish line. Reading the Melodyne manual is not going to do anything for you in terms of your business. Of course, I understand it could help you with your workflow and things of that nature, but what I know will get that song on ESPN, on Fox, on CBS, on Bravo, whatever, is the action part. That I'm 100% certain of. So please stay in action, stay in action, stay in action. Let's do one more. Who else? Come on, one more.
Did you want to talk about that stuff, Eddie?
Yeah, it's time. All right, so you go first, and then I'll segue into my bit.
All right. So it was a good week. It was a bit of a crazy week. I I feel like I've been sending a lot of stuff. I've been writing a lot of stuff, recording a lot of stuff. I've tried to submit something for every brief I see. Most of the time, it doesn't exist. So I find myself like running upstairs into the studio and spending 5-6 hours doing something and getting it off. And to touch on Jock's, the rushing thing, I think that's what happened, which is kind of what we'll talk about. I saw your brief when I got done. I was creating some edits for submission, and I got done after about 4 hours of that and some recording. Grabbed some food, saw your brief. I'm like, fuck. Ran upstairs. I'm like, all right, what the hell is electric music? So I went and did that, and then it was just tough. I had the 5 action things. I do I work about 9-10 hours a day. I had classes this week for certifications and stuff, and I do about a 90-minute workout 6 days a week. And anything after that, like I just been spending up here or doing the business side of it. I got a couple submissions. I submitted 3 tracks, all different types, to an organic music one.
Cool.
Connected with somebody on Mega Tracks on LinkedIn,
Nice.
though he thinks I did it through my professional one for business. So we'll see what he thinks when I tell him I wanted to submit music to him. Yeah, man. So I got the indie tracks thing straight away. I connected with Jingle Punks to get some stuff fixed there. I did find out some stuff from CD Baby. If anybody had an artist album released from them at any point, they do have a publishing thing that sometimes if you signed up for it, I didn't realize it is exclusive. There's some guidelines. Luckily for me, I was well beyond the guidelines, so they just had to submit a release for me, which they submitted to BMI, and now as soon as BMI files the paperwork, I can have that album back to do stuff with. So that was good because, and I sent that one that I got to put in the folder for Beth. So I think I didn't do any. I was just gonna wait till they were all done, but I guess I can do them now. But
Yeah, let's do it now.
That was the vocal one, which was kind of a big deal for me because I kind of promised myself years ago that I wasn't going to do that anymore.
Oh.
And then I saw that it kept kind of getting mentioned that her brief really looked like they wanted vocals, and I was like, fuck. So I gave it. I went back to it, and it was like riding a bike, unfortunately, because I had some bad experiences with it.
Hold on. When you made that promise, did you make it from a place of like, I hate stuff, or did you make it from like, I'm complete, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that style of vocal stuff, like, it just there's a really long story, and I'm not going to go into it, but
No.
like, it basically, I set out to do something, I got manipulated into doing something different. I did the different thing. It didn't work out anyway. And I didn't want to do that. I said I wasn't going to do that style anymore.
Okay,
and I was going to do more what I wanted to do. But at least it wasn't that big of a deal because this had like a purpose. Like it was for a job. So it's like, it didn't bother me that much. It was just weird to be doing it again.
Well, I'm glad you put that old stuff away and you just moved on with something new, new patterns.
Yeah. So it was cool. I mean, it was good. It was good to sing again.
Cool. Very good. And it's a good song too, not to mention. Okay, so we need to get on the up and up, and you and DBP are going to collaborate, finish that, and then we need to talk about your song. So you're moving forward. Have you scheduled your breakthrough session yet?
I did not.
Okay, I'm going to hold you accountable.
I know. I'm kind of weirded out about. I'm kind of weirded.
You have some resistance. It's okay. You have resistance. Do you think Justin would have been like, oh yeah, this thing is awesome for no reason?
I don't know. I think Justin seems like a really flexible guy, so he seems pretty open-minded.
Justin seems
it exceeded my expectations. Just like you, I did not know what to expect. I'm like, when we first started talking, I was like, yeah. But then once we started having a conversation and I saw what they were there to help me with, it was like, okay, this is exactly what I need to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. I have the opening up challenge to people. So.
Well, look, man.
I get it, but I think you'll be thoroughly happy with what you get out of it, and I guess for me, you just have to go for it and just see what happens.
And if you do the same things every time, Chris, remember we talked about that.
Oh, I know.
We gotta try new things. Just try it one time.
Hey man, I did an electric song. I'm doing something called electro blues. I don't even know what the hell that is.
That is true. Oh, and by the way, there is a new brief in the forum, or there will be one a little later today. That's actually with a really big company, so you guys should get hip to that. Deadline
Google didn't even know what it was, man. I kept saying electro blues. It kept saying electric. Did you mean electric? I'm like, no, electro. I don't know. But eventually found it. Yeah.
Good. And then, of course, if you need clarification, hit me up.
I know. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, schedule your session. Friendly challenge. Right? We gotta hold each other, dude. If let's say, I don't know, let's say I showed up one day and I was like 30 pounds heavier again because I'm down kind of to the way where I want to be again. Wouldn't you like be concerned about my welfare? Wouldn't you speak something to me? What if I like, I don't know, showed up like big old bags, my hair was, and I was all like disheveled? Wouldn't you be like, this isn't the normal like behavior that I expect from this guy? Or what if I came in and I'm like, dude, I didn't do my run this week. Maybe once you'd be like, okay, maybe he was a little tired. And then what if I did it a second Saturday and a second Monday and a second Wednesday? After a while, wouldn't you be? So in the same way, I know that you're a winner. I know that you're going to get what you need to get. And so, dude, we've provided all the resources. It's all there. It's all there. We're not asking anything extra, man. And I'm smiling so big because it's just like, if I was on your side of it, dang, man, I would have been so like electrified. But it's cool. Just try it one time.
They said the call, and I was like, "Is it with Eddie?" And they're like, "No, it's with the so and so." I'm like, "Okay."
Right, but remember, I've teamed up with people. We got resources now. that we didn't have before.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. And bear in mind, I'm going to transition here, but when I was on a call with Beat Academy yesterday, I was sitting here in the studio and I was talking to Ivan from Beat Academy. Oh, bro, it was like such a surreal experience because here I am talking to the biggest company on YouTube as far as like productions and tutorials, and we're talking about the future. And I'm sitting here like, how did this happen? Like 6 years ago, nothing, no one. Now, like the biggest company, I just submitted to like a big publisher, got a new brief for the week, which I'm stoked about, and I'm sharing that with you guys, and I want to bring you in on it. How did this happen? And it just happened because I was trying new stuff. That's all I got to say. I was just trying new stuff. I just kept trying something new. Let me just try something new. Let me reach out to somebody else. Let me collaborate with this person. So just try new things. So, okay, Chris and I went through this little dance. So I want to show you real quick. The brief was electro blues, right?
No, that's the new one. This was just electric for some commercial.
Okay, I want you to hear what we got. It went like this. We're all going to look at each other. Let's hear the song real quick.
This city's getting like that. You've got me acting proud. Using why you make.
Okay, I don't want to play it out too much because of the whole YouTube thing. But that was the song. If you want to listen to the rest of it, it's in the Mastermind forum. Now, when I went to play his song, I got this. Listen to this. Okay, and bear in mind they did one instrumental, so there's no vocals. Now, what's funny is we determined after, like, hey, this song would work better for some of the stuff that we're doing, for imaginary friends. So it's like it's going to work out in our favor, but there were some key things that were missing, and I want to show you some numbers and figures so you understand what I mean. Let me go here, Shift Command S. All right. So when we look at Chris's song next to the original is called Mind Chatter, and their numbers are negative 10.6 integrated loudness. So these are the numbers that we use now to measure how loud something is. Why is this important? Because when I play Chris's song next to Drake, next to Beyonce, or another composer, we want to make sure the loudness standard is the same, so that when they're played back to back, it sounds competitive, professional, sounds big. So their number is at negative 10. Okay. Chris's number was at negative 16, which means it was actually lower. It wasn't as loud. All right. And so in order for him to meet that loudness criteria, he's going to have to do a couple things. And we'll run through a couple scenarios here to try and help you. Now, bear in mind, I have a mastered file. That mind flip was mastered, right, Chris? The one that I have?
Yeah, I sent you two. So I sent you the original one that you called out the issue, and then I went back the next morning and fixed.
Okay, yeah, no, but I still have that. I still have the first one, the initial one. So that's the one that I'm going to work with right now.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and pop that up, because I do feel this could be of contribution, and kind of like how I lay things out when I first start out. So I'm going to play this thing one more time, Mind Chatter. I'm just going to get the tempo. So the tempo is okay, good. Dun, da, da, right? So then I'll open up Logic. I'll open up the dialog window that tells me like, hey, what kind of project do you want to use? That kind of thing. So let me get that going. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So let me share this with you. Okay, you guys should be looking at the Logic dialog window. And so from here, I'm just going to tap the tempo. Dun, 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 dun. And maybe even if I'm a little off, that's okay, right? But it's right around 90. I'll leave the key at C. I don't know, where that's going to fall. I usually record at 48. You could record at 44. It truly doesn't matter nowadays. And so then from here, I'll drag in the ref, which is Mind Chatter. And then the way we're going to do this is we're going to set up markers just to get a sense of how to compose this song, how to work with it. So Mind Chatter, here's the audio file. Let's just convert the file. Okay. So let me bring you into Logic. Are you guys looking at No, you're not, right? You're looking at Logic?
We're looking at the template.
Hold on, let me bring you back. Let me bring you to Logic. Okay, here you go. All right, so here's the track. It imported the BPM. I think it was an M4 or something. It had the BPM. So here we go. I'm going to turn on the click, key command K, hit G to open up the global markers. And then I don't need to look at this other stuff, so I'm just going to remove it. Take that out. And then take out the signature for now. Okay, so I'll resize this. And then again, you can hit that plus symbol, or you can just hit Option apostrophe. Here we go. It's not lined up. Okay. No, that didn't. I put the tempo in. My bad. So let me go smart tempo, hit analyze, and then just really quickly, if you want to get the tempo of the song, you go into edit, remove original recording tempo, analyze again. So let's try that out. Let's see if that works. Sometimes hit or miss. So we're at 90. And seems like it's still at 90. So it says 96 here at the bottom in the smart tempo region editor. So then now let me just change that to 96. And then it's always a good practice to make sure this is in flex time. All right, so then let's go 96 and see what this feels like. Let's make sure, just so we're not playing magic tricks here, raise up the click. Okay, good. So then from here, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I would just mark the song, like what's happening. This is a basic intro. Okay, and then I would line this up to a downbeat. So right now it's like, it's not like on a 3 or on a 4. So I'll just nudge this over until it's right on a downbeat. And then just, for good practice, just tell yourself like, hey, this is the intro. And so, going back to this concept, I would hit Option comma, and then, this would be the verse. And then I would go through the whole song. It's a good study, number one, just in general, but number two, it gives your eyes some visual indicators that this is, it's time to do this now, right? It's time to transition. It's not always going to work, but I'm telling you, in terms of having a nice workflow, and just being a bit more automatic, it works quite well. So that's that. That's pretty simple. Let me go ahead and get out of here. I think that's pretty clear. And so now I'm going to bring in his song. And his song was called Mind Flip. Okay, let's make sure this is... Well, this is a different song altogether. So I won't bother myself with that whole thing. It depends on, you don't have to compose a song at their BPM. It's a good idea to get a ballpark. If they ask you to write a song between like 70 and 80 BPM and you're at like 130 to like, I don't know, 120, like, try and fit the mold a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and kind of work on his master a little bit. From the get-go, I'm going to bring in the multimeter, and it doesn't matter if you're using isotope or whatever. You just need to get, something that reads out the LUFS and RMS. So let's see again where he is with this one. So this is the mastered one. I thought, because this one is louder than the other one you had, right? Yeah, because the other one came in at -16. So then now this song is at -13, right? And so in order to get them to a little bit closer to -10, there are some things that we could do. Again, this is one is already mastered. I just didn't, I don't have his original source file, but I just want to show you a couple of things that can help you. So again, he's at -13. We want to get him to -10. So that's kind of the goal here. So that being the case, I'm going to drag in reference by mastering the mix. And then here, we'll drag in the mind chatter. I hope it takes M4As. Yeah, there it is. All right, cool. So then the beauty of this plugin by mastering the mix, and we get discounts on the forum, is that I can go back and forth. And it really does help, especially when you're working quickly, to line up the song, the LUFS, the frequency bands, the compression levels, saturation levels, and then the imaging, And so we're just going to cover those 4 things really quick. So when you have the original tab selected, your song is playing. When you select reference, their song is playing. So let's go ahead and just press play and just see, where are they and where are we? Let me put this on free. Okay. All right, so again, that's the main problem here. I guess it is at -16. Oh, and bear in mind too, I've seen different meters, and they're not standardized. They're not like congruent. You'll get like -9 from this meter and negative. So just try and be careful and if anything, just be consistent and use the same meters every time so that at least your ears become adapted to them. I tried out a Melda production meter and it read differently than this one, and then I tried out the multimeter and that one read a little bit differently. So um, I think it's more important to just stay consistent with the metering system. So then from here, just to get this to be a little bit louder, we're going to bring in a limiter. I just fell in love with a new one by a company called Boss Digital Labs, which I'm going to buy soon. But just for the sake of this example,
Hey Eddie, real quick.
shoot.
I know with like reference, you can level the LUFS by hitting that button on the top right underneath the question mark.
You mean this guy?
No, then one next to it.
Or this guy? Okay.
Yeah, so that helped.
Gain matching or level matching, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea to just do that and bounce it out.
Okay, so you're saying if I hold on, play this. It's not actually changing anything. What it's doing is it's putting both of the songs at the same level. And hold on, is no, actually this button here serves a different purpose from what I remember, dude.
So when I watched the tutorial, that one puts them at the same LUFS so that you're not perceiving one to be louder than the other. And then the other one lines them up like if you were going to do 2 of the same song
Stem
to
mastering.
check different versions. It's good for mirror mode.
Yeah, but it's not. This is just a. It's not doing anything to the song. It's just giving you like a representation of like.
Yeah, that's just for your ear, so you
Yeah.
don't perceive louder is better. It just level matches inside of the actual. It's not affecting the actual audio. It's just making them the same volume, so that way you don't think louder is better. You just are analyzing the songs at the same volume. But when you bounce it, it's not going to be any louder.
And by the way,
Oh,
when
really?
you bounce it, it should be off. Yeah, this shouldn't play a factor in. This is just a metering
Yeah.
plugin. Yeah, it's not doing anything to the source sound.
Okay.
Yeah, and like you said, when you compress or limit something, it gets louder, and so you don't want the shock value to be what makes you pick that. You want it to be that the limiting or the compression or the saturation is making it sound better. And so that level matching concept is basically so that you don't get fooled by loudness. But yeah, as he said, it's not actually louder. But this song we do want to be louder because this discrepancy is too big. You try and turn this into Beth at -16. This happened to me a long time ago actually. She's like, oh, it's too quiet. It's too quiet. It's not going to work. It's not the same thing. It's not the same song. So we're just going to raise up the gain just to meet to match the LUFS. So here we go.
It's not working because you have it after the plugin, right?
Oh, my bad. Yeah. So then on top of that, here, let me see. Okay. Here we go. And so now when we listen to these side by side, sounds pretty comparable. Here, check it out. All right, so that's kind of like check. One problem solved. We got the loudness where it needs to be. I wouldn't worry about true peak. I wouldn't worry about gain. All right, let's go into the frequency issue here. So then now I'll get this guy out of the way, and then we'll bring in an EQ. Of course, you could use any of them, but we're just going to look at them side by side. Let me just cycle.
So,
maybe the
Eddie,
chorus.
how many dBs of gain reduction did you add to get the volume up?
On the limiter,
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't even check, man. I just looked at the numbers and just
So
compare
you
them, play them side by side.
so you weren't even thinking like, okay, I want to keep it under 3. You're just like,
Yeah,
it just needs to be
there
louder.
are people that would pay a lot more attention to that. I'm just results driven. So if I need like, there's a rule. It says that if you need anywhere between -3 to 5, gain reduction on a limiter, that you should use 2 of them. So if you need anything over -3 to 5, don't use any more limiting. Don't push it any harder. Use 2 limiters to achieve the same result. So in this case, we're working kind of fast here. So I was just moving and
Okay.
I pushed it. But here, let's look at the number though, just to answer your question. Looks like it says right around 5, 4.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to go any past that, it would probably sound too distorted and intense. Then I would probably just put on another one.
Roger that.
Roger that. All right. So then that being the case, got the linear phase EQ, which is good for mastering. Don't use the regular channel EQ. You want to use linear phase. This is also available in like Fab Filter and all the various isotope suites. But I'm gonna press play and we're just gonna look at the frequency bands. Let me make this a little bigger. It's easier to look at. Okay, just go stretch down. Nah. Okay, here we go. I mean, really looks pretty good. The only frequency band that needs a little bit help is above 2K. And so one of the criteria with this plugin is if you're below 3 decibels in terms of the reading, you want to go ahead and create more bands. So I'm going to hit Control and create more bands. Let's see if this helps the problem. You don't want to be below or over 3 decibels when it comes to the frequency range. So this one looks okay, but this one's not okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create one more band here, and I think we'll have more information. And of course, this is also contingent on what you're listening to, like the part of the song that you're listening to. So like it got quiet here. So maybe we should just play the loudest part of their song. So just, keep that in mind. Maybe like I'll cycle. Let's do this section right here. Looks kind of loud. Let's see. Yeah, this seems to be kind of like the grand drop of their song. So let's play ours. All right, so there's just a whole lot of information up here that needs to be accounted for. This might require more instrumentation. It might just be a mix thing. I mean, we'll see. But definitely from 2K all the way up here, we need some assistance. So I'm just going to start and just, make some adjustments. I'm going to go side EQ. We could talk more about the stuff in the class, but I'm just trying to create more information above 2K. So let's give that a spin. Okay, now bear in mind, this is where we started, my friends. So let's go here. And then now, just with a couple of very small adjustments. Is it there yet? Almost, not quite, but is it much better? Absolutely. And so this is what the workflow that I'm encouraging. Compare apples to apples. We're getting a little bit closer. I still feel like there's some base adjustments we can make, but now if I turn this in, and even if I'm in a hurry, I have a better shot at making it. You'd be surprised the songs that'll get through. You'd be surprised. So let me just put a little bit more information up here in the EQ range. Especially like above 10K. I'm just gonna put it's a really nice little plugin called Mag EQ. It's really good for air. So we'll pop that in there, and I guess I'll just go like 20K, 10K, right around there. And I'm just gonna increase this air band. Let's see if that helps out the cause. Cool. You can see that I made up a lot. Here's before. And now we're a little bit closer to what it is that they want as a whole. And so now we've covered the LUFS, we've covered the frequency range. Now let's do the imaging. So how do I read the imaging? Well, here, let me help you out real quick. Let me bring in advanced portion of screen. So if we look at these little bands right here, this is the low, these are the mids, and these are the highs. There's a horizontal bar. My song is the bar at the top. Their song is the one at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and play my song, play their song, and then we can see what we need to do as far as the imaging. If you don't know what I'm talking about how wide or narrow the song is placed in your stereo field. So let's just look at it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is the bottom of the range. So to solve this problem, we're going to the fastest way of doing this is to insert Ozone's plugin, the Imager plugin. So let me go back to the full screen for you right here. Okay, good. And
Hey
then
Eddie, did you say the top line is the reference track?
your track.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's pop this guy in. So you see what I'm doing though, Justin? It's just like problem solving, just trying to
Yep.
get kind of to the next, okay, how do I make this sound a little bit better? And then it's very possible that you'll make a decision and then it won't work. So just do your best to kind of like line it up as best as you can, It doesn't have to be perfect. But have you heard an improvement in our song? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a jump, and I'd call it, considerable, and we're still not even done. So here, let's look at the horizontal bar. Here we go. All right, so we're super wide. So right away, Justin, right here, I'm just gonna bring this down and make it more mono, because right now our bass is too big. I don't know, I didn't make the song, right? So I don't know if he recorded it with a stereo bass or it doesn't matter. The point is we want it to sound like it's a little bit closer. So let's look at this now. Yeah. All right, check. Now between 200 and 2K. So then in order to achieve that though, I might start to set up some bands, right? So like that first band is in the subs, and then I'll create another, somewhere like right here. I don't overly concern myself, like with all the detail. I'll just kind of do it, and then if I get a little bit closer, then that's a win for me. So I'll press play, and now we're concerning ourselves with that middle bar. Here we go. Now the song got a little bit smaller for me, so you have to, the best thing to do is to like go to the hook, cycle the hook in the plugin and inside of your song. So let's just see if I'm in the right place now. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, man, this song sounds pretty good. So here, let's listen to everything now before. So this is where we were before. So again, if I sent this out, it's hard. It's hard to convince them. It's hard to push it across, right? It may not have a fighting chance out there, but especially compared to this. And this has nothing to do with talent, by the way. Chris is incredible. Guy's a juggernaut. He's a big talent. This is why I'm always on him, because I really believe that he will do it. But the song will not have a chance. And so with these little things, right, that we're starting to do and we're starting to put together, we can see that, it's going to make us a lot better. So now LUFS is there, imaging is there, right? The frequency bands are there, and now the song has a shot. So going back to Chris now, do you have these plugins? Do you have like how can we solve these problems for you? Because sometimes like if you don't have the right plugin, so how do we get this going for you?
Well, this one was just, I mean, you knew mastering was something I was getting better at anyway.
Sure.
This one was an outlier. This one, like I said, I sat for about 4 hours from start to finish and threw it out the window because I knew the next morning I had to be in class and I wouldn't have a lot of time. So it was really just get something and make it. And to be honest, like 80% of doing that slipped my mind when I did it. Like,
Yeah, that's fine. And
so yeah, no,
but dude,
I have all the, I mean, I have all the ozone
okay,
mask.
good. How long did I take? What was my time right now on that? 10 minutes? 15? 20?
15, 20 maybe.
Yeah. So just do everything I did.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a special thing. I didn't do anything particularly special. I just kind of went through a protocol.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody isn't aware, I'm pretty sure Ozone gives away that imager for free.
Not that one. That's
Oh, okay. Got
yeah.
you.
So
Got you.
That one is
They-
band specific.
Oh, got you. You were using the actual. I got you.
Yeah.
They do give away a free one though,
They-
Yeah.
but
Fuck
it's not
that.
that good.
They do have something now, like if you like the full one is like $500 and the standard's like $250, but if you buy the standard at $250, the upgrade to the full is like $99, so you get it for cheaper than buying the full.
Wow, you've done the research.
Oh, that's not, dude. If anybody wants likes native instruments like Contact and stuff, they had a voucher for the Select, which is like 199 usually for $100, and the Ultimate is usually $1,200. But if you buy the Select, the upgrade to the Ultimate is half off right now for $500. So you can get the Ultimate for basically 60% off if you decide just to go the roundabout way instead of straight into it.
Every single time I'm looking for a discount, I'm gonna start asking you.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
So
Pricing.
the whole thing here is just problem solving and just getting across, right? There was no special talent involved there besides just being studious, trying to learn the plugins to the best of my ability. But at the end of the day, is it sounding better, right? And that did. And trust me, if I would have put another hour, it would have sounded glorious. And by the way, I guarantee you that song, that one right there, the one that we were just working on, will get placed and will get at least entered into that whole world with YNR. So I'm looking forward to working on that. And it's funny, you made a song for something else, but now because you've been diligent, because you've been working, we can use it elsewhere. So stay on it.
Right on. Thank you.
Very cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna start closing here. Any final thoughts? Any final questions? I just want to open it up, and then we'll finish off.
I actually do have a quick question, Eddie. I'm having trouble kind of differentiating between the exclusives and the non when it comes to actually writing that type of music. And when I've gone through to research some libraries or even some exclusive places that I've submitted to, like I'll submit these, involved big orchestral kind of things, and they'll have them, and then I'll go and I'll see other tracks that are basically like beds with maybe a tiny little melody for a minute and a half. And then there's like soundscapes, which is basically a swelling pad. And like, it's hard for me to sit and do that and write that and think that I've done something worth sending off. So when we talk about people with 10,000 song queues and 8,000 song queues and all that stuff, like, would you recommend just getting like a queue of, a minute to 2 minute kind of textural tracks? I mean, I guess they'd be songs, but like just kind of textures and sounds, and like would you put those in non-exclusive libraries and as opposed to exclusive? Like, how do you handle like everything doesn't have to be this grand piece of music? It's kind of the thing I'm juggling with.
Yeah, so I think what you're saying is if I create a simple composition with two elements, a pad and a cello, is that enough? Is that what you're kind of saying? Yeah, I mean, if it's beautiful, if it serves a purpose, you'd be surprised the kind of music. There was a brief once. Do you guys remember that movie? It was called like Birdman or something about a drummer.
Yeah, man.
That whole bit, dude. That led into a whole slew of songs where people were just creating these drum solos, on like Superior Drummer, and that was like a little phase that we all went through. So the media or Hollywood influenced the briefs that we were working on, and so that happens a lot where like you're just doing. I had a bunch of tension assignments with just damage. A lot of you guys use damage. They just wanted damage drums, the whole thing from top to bottom, but they wanted it to be very dynamic and to have a lot of like rhythmic kind of like stops and things of that nature. But dude, I did an international ad once where it was just drums. It was just drums. Doom, 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 doom. dun 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 dun, like, and you'd be surprised what's possible out there. So yes,
Okay.
how do I know where to put it? Um, I do the best I can. I try and make good decisions. I'll give you a quick example. I have a song called "The Lion's Share." It's like my most popular song on SoundCloud, and somebody wanted it exclusively. But I remember thinking, I don't know this company. I don't know if they're gonna treat my baby well. So what? Why don't I just keep this non-exclusively and I use this to represent me because it's such a good song, right? It's like it was like kind of when I really started getting it. So yeah, you just got to make, good decisions, kind of follow your heart. I know that's not, the most sound criteria, but um
Well, I mean, you're a guitar. I mean, you're a guitar player. Like, I mean, like some because I had sat there. I thought about just setting up a microphone and just playing acoustic guitar for 2 hours and then just breaking it off into songs. I mean,
yeah, I
like
mean, as
maybe like
long as you have
piano
a
or
really
something.
beautiful sound, if you have a beautiful like professional sound, I think you can cross.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank
Um,
you.
there is no end to it. The path that I recommend is kind of like what Chris Crispin's doing, Jacques, DBP. They have briefs, they have things that they're working on. It's good to do just things out of the heart and because you're curious and you're an artist like me first, right? And that's cool and I respect that. But it's also, I think also you see the my reasoning when you have briefs, it's very invigorating. It keeps you consistent, it keeps you moving. Whereas if you're just kind of going on a whim, I don't know, sometimes maybe you can lose your inspiration. And so
Oh, yeah, I
sometimes,
love. No, I love the brief for the target.
yeah,
The other part is just like when there's not a brief, like because the library needs to be built because there's just
your
I think I have like
your library,
40.
yeah, your
Yeah,
music, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
like
So you might as well do what you love,
yeah, yeah. Okay,
and also you might as well show what you can do.
right.
Because that's one of the things that I always prided myself in is like I can create country, I can create reggae, I can create, uh, anything, pretty much.
Electro
Like
blues.
I mean, especially now with all the samples out there, like it's infinite. So
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Thank you.
I have one quick question. I'm sorry.
don't be sorry.
I didn't check in because like I submitted to 2 different libraries this week on those 3.
Good,
I
good,
submitted to
good.
one thing like I know that you said was to like check the libraries to make sure that you fit into what they're doing, but like some of those libraries they have like just 14 different tabs of genres. So I figured like anything will fit in there, right? And so I figured I'll just take like one song, and submit it. Um, so I guess I don't know what my question is. Um, like about the diligence of researching, like it seems to me in those situations that it doesn't like with those like it was free play music was the one I submitted to and organic music. I still haven't heard back from either of them.
Time.
I don't know what to make of that either. I'll probably follow up um, this coming week, but I think it's just like how do you decide or you just like throw a track somewhere and you just write them and that's it and
Well,
follow up.
there's companies out there that specifically just do one genre. I mean, I could tell you a couple of them. In fact, the brief that I'm sending out this after the call is one of those companies where this is the kind of music that they do, and this is what we want. And I've been with them for years, and I've had hundreds of placements. So there's companies that are like that, and then there's like, you know, we do everything. We have Christmas carols, and we have metal, and we have all this stuff. So there is no rules. Just do the best that you can. Company like Organic, I thought would fit you specifically because of the trombone and all the great funky music that you make, and I think they want music like that. And so I thought that would fit you.
They had a lot of like also cinematic scores, so I sent them those kind of songs too.
Yeah.
You know,
I
those.
mean, look, they're gonna look at your SoundCloud if you make it available. I think with them, the submission process is like you're sending MP3s, right?
Yeah, it's like you fill out the metadata right there, and then you don't like give them anything about you besides your name and your
Got
PRO.
it, got it. So yeah, it's a gamble, but look, man, you got
I
you got
could
to try.
follow up with a contact email. Like I might do that anyway.
Yeah, and that's when you want to put your SoundCloud and you've got your songs up there, and they'll check those out if they want them. Different companies are busy at different times of the year too. Like you may not hear from them now, but then 2 months from now, they're like, hey, we need all this stuff, and then you come in and you work. Very cool.
Hey Eddie, I
Uh,
have a quick question.
shoot.
And I posted it in the forum, but I figured it's probably a good
Yeah,
place now to
yeah.
just kind of cover it. at what point do you register your tracks at the PRO? Is it before you submit to publishers, or do you want to wait till your track gets accepted at a publisher and then register in the PRO?
Yeah, that also is a funny point there, isn't it? So the only reason I started this whole thing with that is because I made a grave mistake and I haven't been paid for those tracks, and so I just kind of wanted to let people know, like, be aware of this because I don't want it to come back and bite you. um, the the protocol for everybody's different. For example, with imaginary friends, they register for you. They do everything for you, right? You can't register a song if you don't have their information because she's taking publishing and right. So it doesn't that doesn't add up in that situation. But in a situation with me when I was working with Buna Murray, had I known this, I should have registered the songs first, given them, and when I submitted everything with the work ID, given them all the information, then I would have got paid properly. See, I didn't know that either. It didn't work out at that time in that way. So the right answer is you have to talk to the company, say, how would you like to go about this? Would you like me to register the songs and give you the works ID, or do you guys take care of that on your end? It's just about communication. Like this
Okay.
other opportunity that I'm submitting today for you guys on the forum, um, they do all the registering for you. So in that case, you don't need to register it. So it's a little bit different every time.
I have a quick
So
question.
Chris, and then Justin after that, go.
Very quickly.
No, quickly. Let's just talk.
So can I register this? Because Imaginary Friends wanted to be self-published. So could I register it without, or how do I do that?
Well, believe it or not, they're going to register it for you with your publishing information. But I want you to be educated, and if you want to go ahead and ask the team over there, go ahead. But
Okay.
I know they do all that for you. But it's never
Oh,
bad.
I
Yeah,
see. Never mind. I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. She's
So
putting
they
your
will
information
attach the publishing to it.
to you. Yeah.
I got it.
But check, man.
No, you're right. You're right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Justin.
so with publishers, as you said, it's best to check with them first. Now, what about music libraries?
That's when it's good to do your own thing
Okay.
because who knows what's going on their end. Sometimes they don't take anything. Sometimes you have to read the contracts. But yeah, definitely, I would register in that regard.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm.
Eddie, can you go back to the your own publisher thing again? Like I have all my stuff registered through my pro, but I don't have, like, I have publisher percentage because there's no publisher on the tracks, but I don't have my own publishing.
Yeah, at some point you should do that. Just go on ASCAP and sign up for a publishing account.
Is it
Some companies like Imaginary Friends will require you to have your own publishing company. If you don't, there's ways to get around it, but it's like, believe it or not, you can actually make some extra money doing that. So you might as well just set it up. I don't know if there's a fee. It's been such a long time since I've done
I think
it.
there's a one-time fee for both. You do a one-time fee for writers, one-time fee for publishers.
What
And
is it like?
ASCAP, whenever you're registering a work, Chris, like on ASCAP, you can only register 50% as the writer and 50% as a publisher. So you just make up your own, like, Chris bags, whatever.
Yeah, so it's weird. BMI, like they instruct you, if you don't have a publisher, you register it at 200% for the writer share. So that's the thing that's confusing, is like it's either 100 for the writer or 100 for the publisher. Like the whole is 200 for some reason. The whole is 200%. You do 200 as a writer if you have no publisher. Probably. We play a percentage game. So I guess I have to check with them if they have have a
get clear on it. My whole
they
thing.
do have a publisher option. It's $50 for the year.
Oh,
to
50.
sign up as a publisher, because I'm with BMI as well.
Okay.
I haven't done the publisher route yet, but they do have that option.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jess.
Companies are gonna ask you, and if you don't, they're gonna like either require you to get one, and then you're gonna have to wait, and so you might as well just kind of get it done whenever it's appropriate. But what would be really valuable is if we get somebody from ASCAP here or BMI. That would be like an epic conversation. So I'm gonna work on that.
That would be cool.
Last week you mentioned that ASCAP, you had the member number and then you had your IPI number, I think is how you referenced it. So I'm with BMI and all I notice is a member number. Is that?
That's tricky, man, because I've seen people not get paid. There's actually a way that I can help you. just in the chat, can you put your name and then I'll do you know my email?
Yeah, I got it. I guess. Did you send the email this morning?
No, that's the logic set. Send it to
No, I don't know your email.
hftracks@gmail.com, hftracks@gmail.com.
Okay,
And so
cool.
put
Do you
your
want
name
me
in
to
the
send you an
chat.
email?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
Send me an email with your full name, like middle name, the whole
I
nine
just
yards,
put
and
my name in the
I'll
chat.
find you in the repertoire. What'd you say?
I'm putting my name in the chat.
Okay, cool. That's your full
Uh,
name. You don't have a middle name, right?
I do.
Oh,
My middle
put
name
that
is
in,
Michael.
put that in there just in case.
Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
I think with BMI, if you look at some of your past royalty statements.
I don't have any.
Okay.
Okay. Now I got him. I'll find him. But the thing is, I've seen this is where people will submit a song. It's their member ID and not their IPI, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen." And it's like, "Oh, you gave them the wrong number," and then there's this whole thing, and you may never find that money or see it ever. So
You
let's just get
said
that out of the way.
HF tracks.
At Gmail, yeah. Harry Frank Tracks plural
Gotcha.
at Gmail.
Okay.
Eddie.
Thank you.
Very cool. Okay, I'll talk to you in a little bit, Andy. And Andy, did you solve that whole bit with the MIDI controller yet?
Yeah, I think it was just there was. I just needed. I think I just needed to restart everything.
Okay, I
It was
understand that
just
happened.
an audio sync sort of issue that was going on.
Very cool. Okay. Any other
Thanks
questions?
for asking that.
Of course. Hit me email and we'll solve that whole bit.
And it's tracks like normal spelled tracks, not like all fancy TRAX.
No. It's just yeah.
Okay.
Good clarification. Any
Thanks.
other questions, my friends?
Eddie, real quick,
Let me go Justin, and then I'll go and then there was somebody else. Go ahead.
your IPI number is the same throughout all your music, right? It's not per track.
Oh no, yeah. It's so think of it like your identification number. You know how you have an
Okay.
ID. Yeah.
Yep.
And be careful and be clear about which one it is, man, because I've seen too many people lose out. So just maybe go
Cool.
back in there and really look for it. There's member ID and there's IPI.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was also going to suggest back to that. What I was able to do is because I didn't have any of my hard copy BMI statements, but online they have them. So if you've ever gotten any check from BMI, it'll have your IPI number on it. And then secondly, with respect to the question about the publishing company, I would suggest that everyone has their own publishing company that you just set up with your state. And because outside of your PRO, there are going to be opportunities for you to collect residuals through your own publishing company. So you, especially if you're doing anything that's along the lines of a mechanical royalty or even a sync license. So you have that money coming in from your publishing company in addition to your PRO. So I would think you want to have your own publishing company set up in addition to it being affiliated with the PRO.
Okay. And how would you go about doing that?
Well, for me, I simply just set up with the state of Florida, my own corporation, an LLC, is Live Music. And so now if I'm doing something that's, let's say a sync license, a mechanical license, and I'm in a deal with the label, then the label directly pays you for the mechanical license for your publishing. Now, once it goes to the radio stations, or even if it gets placed subsequently for any kind of media on television side, then your PRO is going to kick in too. So you're getting your residuals from your mechanical license that you have, and then that PRO money is another set of funds that will come in for radio airplay or something like that.
I'm gonna get a rep to come on here. I'm so dedicated to that now. So we need clarification on a lot of these different, like what mechanical royalty. I don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? So we need to get some clarity.
I think that's firms like Harry Fox and Music Reports and right is
somewhat. Harry, we go to Harry Fox when we want to do a cover tune, and so we have to pay the publisher of that particular song if we want to do White Christmas, Irving Berlin. So we'll go to Harry Fox, we'll get a mechanical license for that or a digital license, and we'll go through them to be able to do that cover. But if you're doing a song for Beyonce, and when you go into negotiation for whatever percent of the publishing that you're going to get, that's going to come from Sony or BMG or whatever label she's on, they'll be paying you for the mechanicals on that. Now, that's translating differently now to streaming, which is a whole lot different than it used to be from CD sales and albums and stuff back in the day. But the mechanical royalty is for the sale of the tangible fixed item that's going out there. And then your PRO is for your performance royalties for radio airplay, television, or things of that nature.
It's happening. I'm bringing somebody on. Okay, a couple more questions. I forgot who was gonna go.
I have a question, but I forgot it.
Ah,
Sorry.
it's okay. It'll come back.
Oh, what happens if you registered your song already? Because I registered Love Is All Around already.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Not a
matter
big
because
deal.
she's gonna
Yeah.
register it in her own way with her own stuff, so it won't link up. If you want to delete it, go
And
ahead. But yeah,
yeah, so just leave it.
yeah, because they're gonna put
Probably.
on they're gonna put in a different prefix. It's gonna be it's not even gonna be the
Mhm.
same thing anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so like if you sign an exclusive deal, are you still allowed to distribute your music like on an album like as an artist, or should you be like talking to the company about that first?
Yeah, I know Imaginary Friends. I know they encourage you to still be an artist and push your music and do all that. So I think with her it's great. I think you need to check with other companies because there's
Yeah.
people that will want to own it and it's theirs and that's it. They don't want to get in trouble with YouTube and there's all this back and forth, you know. But yeah, you need to really check and always be clear about these things because the last thing you want to do is like build this relationship and it's like just starting to bud and grow and then you just ruin it because or not you
Yeah.
but because you
Yeah.
know YouTube monetization and it's like there's all this crossover
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden you just it just doesn't work anymore.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would spend some time
Awesome.
really getting clear. So hey, just message, send a quick nice, friendly email. I was wondering, can I still stream this? Can I still use this on Spotify? Yeah, I know she's very friendly about that though.
Great.
Very cool. You're doing a great job, and I'm gonna check your submittals as soon as I'm done here. Just want to make sure everybody's
Oh, thank
good.
you.
Anybody else? Good. All right. Well, hey, thank you for a great session. The takeaway here is the referencing and comparing, you know, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, and you want to get the LUFS, the loudness right. You want to get the EQ frequency bands right, and then the imaging right as well. The compression is another factor, but that one we'll put away for now. If you get those, I guarantee you that you're just so much better off. I thank you guys for your time. Excited to see you on Monday. I have so many plans. I have a platinum producer coming to our mixing series in a week or two. I have a virtuosic piano player that's going to do a master class on chords and just lots of fun stuff. So let's keep pushing, let's keep grinding, and let me get these submittals done for you because we got to keep moving forward. Bless you guys. Keep working. Stay in action. I'll see you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.